Yes, yes, I know. What an exciting day. Your Lord and Savior is finally back to give you guys some more value. Sauce, if you will. What? I was gone for like 8, 9 months, maybe, and you guys completely lost it. You guys just don't know what to do without me. What can I say? No, but with all seriousness though, like I feel like it's my responsibility to really come back and single-handedly slay the demons that we call gurus. And I'm going to resurrect your soul, guys. I'm going to bring life back to your souls and give you guys some hope again. Anyways, with all seriousness though, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Tyler Fyrst. And I kind of went ghost on all of you guys. I left to just put all of my focus on towards my agency, which then we scaled to over 50K per month, right? For those of you guys that don't know me at all, I originally blew up on YouTube just for my Instagram outreach, just because a lot of people have found success with it. It's the method that I use, but of course the meta's changed, right? The things that you do have to adapt. So the outreach method that you guys see now has completely changed, right? But anyways, I am 17 years old and on the verge of incorporating our second six-figure agency into my portfolio. So most of you guys know that I ran a marketing agency in the medical niche, right? The medical spot, and scaling it to six figures within my first 5 months. And now we have created our second agency called acquiresales.io. So, but before we completely go into this, I'm just going to give you guys the breakdown of this video. So firstly, I'm just going to give you guys a quick document that I'm going to read through. And after that, for those of you guys that have dead, what's it called? Attention spans. I have a bunch of shapes and colors for you guys too. So first things first, essentially what Acquire Sales, what we focus on is we focus on creating leverage for agencies to remove the founder from the day-to-day activities and scaling them from their first, say they're making 5 to 10K per month to their first 30, 50, 70 plus K per month, right? And firstly, I just want to give you guys some background on who I am. Well, firstly, I started at 13, so I'm 17, so I've been doing this for around 4 years now. It wasn't until 16 I actually found any success, right? I started with streaming. That's actually what I made money from originally, but then I didn't make any money through job shipping, coding, Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, course creation, info products, none of it, right? And I watched every YouTube video. I bought every course, right? And I just couldn't find any success until I created my own marketing agency, right? And I started it at the end of December in 2022, and I landed my first clients on December 9th, right? And then I landed my second clients 2 days later. And in just 2 months, I scaled my agency to 10K per month. Then from there, it wasn't until 3 months later, I hit my first 38K per month, right? Which we have here. So firstly, I'm just going to break down kind of the big things that I see now coming back. Is there are kind of three main things that I see people, and the reason why they're not able to hit their first 50, 100K per month, right? And I would say some of the biggest reasons are, one, the lack of knowledge, right? And guidance, which we just talked about in the intro of this video, right? Don't listen to the gurus. It's bullshit. We'll touch on it a little bit later. Two is not having the right people and team in place. This is absolutely massive, is having the right people and team in place, right? Especially because realistically, you're not the best at anything right now, right? But what you can do is build the capital to invest into hire the people that are best and experts in their field, bring them on and leverage it, right? So we'll kind of break that down too. And then the third one is implementation, right? And the reason why I say implementation is because knowledge means absolutely nothing, means nothing whatsoever if you don't know how to implement what you're being taught, right? And this is a huge reason why you see so many people that buy info products, people that buy these courses, right? The reason why most of them never succeed through buying courses is because they still don't know how to put anything into implementation. They only know the knowledge for it, right? Does that make sense? So, but here's the thing, right? You may think you're doing everything right? You have everything down to perfection, everything that the gurus have told you, right? Everything that your mentor has told you, right? With relentless effort, and you're still not where you want to be, right? And now let's say that you've created the so-called perfect offer, which now we're realizing there is no such thing as the perfect offer, right? But then you're using the frameworks that the gurus tell you to use, right, for these perfect offers. And if it was good enough, people would buy, right? Everyone says that as long as you have a no-brainer offer, all you have to do is get people to see it, right? So you use cold email, cold DMs, you run paid ads to your no-brainer offer. This, in fact, used to be the best way. So it used to be good. But like, if you're still running lead generation Facebook campaigns to your agency, dude, like, what are you doing? If you're still running Facebook, like, bro, like that's why you're fucking broke. Sorry, that kind of came off aggressively. No, but here's the thing, right? You, your grandma, your dog, your goldfish, and 100,000 other people who are your competitors are now going to use the exact same frameworks that everyone are giving you, right? So I run Facebook ads. I bring you booked appointments, right? If that's your offer, that's why you're not making money, right? Quite simply, right? And we'll touch on that here too. I'm going to talk about this here. So, but then everyone, supposedly, everyone in the world has a crazy offer, right? They use it in their front end of their marketing to get leads, calls, or even customers, right? But the problem is when you have a no-brainer offer, right? Nobody does. Everything in the market works until it doesn't, right? And so having a strong offer will help, right? It'll be better than having a bad offer, but there is no such thing as a perfect offer. But the thing that has to change the most is the way that you position and market your offer. Let me give you an example, right? So like me and you, we can have the exact same offer, except I will always win. I will always beat you, and I will always make more money just because I know how to frame it differently than you. That'll make it unique and put me into blue waters instead of red waters, right? Does that make sense? So now, let's see where I was. But anyways, I'm just going to move on from that though. But the best way to kill your agency completely, and I talk about this all the time, is creating an offer that you think is good and pushing it into a cold audience, right? That is probably the most destructive thing towards you, your brand, right? Because one, they don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. They don't know what your background is. They don't know what you offer. No one knows who you are, right? So why would they buy? That's the thing that you guys have to understand, right? But and the thing is too is I'm going to say this here is it is impossible to sell to a cold audience. It is not a thing. Selling to a cold audience is not a thing, right? The only people that will ever buy your services are the ones that believe in you, right? And they become a warm audience, right? So does that make sense? I might be just saying a bunch of bullshit, but that at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense. Let me break it down. Let me go to the shapes and colors now. So I'm going to break down kind of the old way of doing things and then the new way of doing things, right? And then how that has a difference and then how to do it, right? So here's what people usually do, right? And this is the reason why you're stuck at only 50K per month, if you're even at that point yet, right? And the reason why you're stuck is because you have no leverage. You have no leverage whatsoever. You're doing everything, right? And the number one thing that's killing most of you guys is because you're offering commoditized services, right? So you're only offering Facebook ads, appointment setting, sending cold DMs, cold emails, short form content, etc. Right? You're only providing such a very selective thing that's very easily accessible for other people to do, if that makes sense, right? Because it's like, think of it this way. How you're learning how to run Facebook ads, how you're learning to do appointment setting, how you're learning to run cold email, your prospects or your clients can learn the exact information because most of the things that you guys are learning are through YouTube, right? It's easily accessible to them too, right? So why couldn't they do it themselves? They don't need you anymore, right? So you have to move away from commoditized services, right? That's the reason why you guys are stuck, and this is how you guys need to leverage and create a better offer, right? But then on top of that, like I just said before, now you're going to have a low closing rate, right? And you only solve one problem, which creates a red ocean. And because of that, and because you're in a red ocean, what happens is you and your competitors, you guys are all going to be racing down to the bottom, right? That's all it is, right? So what's going to happen is people are going to get on a call with you, and all they're going to do is because you have the exact same thing, like because you're offering the exact same thing, yes, you can be like, oh, well, we offer more clients for free than our competitors, right? Even if you're offering the same services, the people that are going to buy now are only going to buy from the people that are offering the lowest ticket, right? So it's just going to be a race to the bottom. It's just who's going to have the lowest ticket, who's going to make the sale, right? And then because it's going to be a low ticket offer, right? And because you're going to try making it as cheap as possible, you can't hire anyone. You have no leverage. You can't leverage anything, meaning you can't hire any expert staff, which means you're going to have average, if not bad, results, right? And then your churn rate is going to be extremely high, and you're not going to have enough money to keep your clients, right? So this flywheel, this spin here is what's killing most of you guys, right? Is because you have to apply leverage. And that's kind of what we do at acquiresales.io is we take agency owners and we apply leverage to their agency using our own team. So you guys don't even need to have a team. We have a team that does it for you, right? And it's those small little changes that you guys have to implement into your own agency as well, right? So here's kind of the old way of getting clients and scaling past 50K per month in 24 months, right? So first things first, right? You start with a channel, right? And this channel can be Instagram, it can be Facebook, it can be LinkedIn, any channel that you want to message on, right? This used to be the old way. What happens is then you would create your offer, you start spamming everyone and their grandma with your offer, right? Or you outsource it to a VA. Then from there, you only probably reach max 1,000, 2,000 people per day. I mean, per month, my bad. That's insanely low. 1,000 to 2,000 per month, like that's so low, right? And then if it's decent, right? If your offer is maybe decent, which most of your guys' offers are just shit, but if your offer is decent, right? You might be able to land maybe 10, 20 meetings in the next 6 weeks, right? And if you understand sales, then maybe you'll be able to land maybe 1 or 3 of those clients in those 6 weeks, right? So now, here's a huge thing now. So now we go to paid ads, right? So let's say you have capital, right? What's going to happen is you're going to probably spend around 2 to 4 weeks creating a funnel, right? Or you're just going to pay someone around $1,000 to $2,000 for someone else to create it for you, right? Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to waste another week's worth on trying to build a VSL. The next thing you're going to spend another week trying to figure out how to set up the proper tracking for your funnel, right? So this alone is already like 3 weeks wasted in the trash that essentially does absolutely fucking nothing, right? Because then on top of that, this is why I'm so against paid ads, right? Because everyone does it incorrectly, right? With these ads to their agency. But what happens is, firstly, people burn through $1,000, right? First thing first, they're like, oh, I'm going to put $1,000 into this, right? It might be $1,000, it might be $2,000, it might be even $3,000, right? What's going to happen is you're finally going to get a booked meeting, but with an average of around maybe $60 to $250 per lead, depending on your niche, right? So per call that you get, right? And now here's the worst out of it all, right? 85% of everyone who then gets onto a call with you is just there to learn more about what you do. They have no idea who you are. In other words, every call that you spend $60 or $250 on is a cold call because they don't know who you are. They don't know what you do, what your offer is, what your background is. They don't know anything about you, right? Is it clicking now? So if lucky, right? The remaining 15% is interested, but will compare you to the other agencies they've spoken to, right? Which we just talked about, where you guys, they're only going to be looking for the cheapest prices, which now you're creating a low ticket offer, right? And so meaning you won't close them, or if you're lucky, you'll close one, maybe, right? So now here's kind of like the new way, right? And this is fairly simplified, right? So this is how using leverage, you can get to 100, 200K effortlessly, right? And so what happens is we have a rev hacking offer, right? Our rev hacking offer, right? Which is a build and release offer, right? But the way that we frame our offer and the things that we add into our offer that makes it so amazing, you could say, is now we're going to be able to charge high ticket, right? So we have a high closing rate. On top of that, we can pay high ticket, right? It solves all the problems quickly, easy, efficiently, right? And it's just no-brainer offer, and it's easily leveraged. So let me tell you the difference. Because we're now able to have a high ticket offer, we can now leverage the best people in their field, right? Which then in return creates incredible results for you, right? Which means we have a low churn rate and we keep high ticket clients forever, right? Because we now have the capital and the foundation to leverage amazing staff and to give people incredible results, right? So now here's the new way of getting clients and scaling past 50K per month in 2 to 3 months instead of 24 months, right? So like I was speaking on before, you can never sell to a cold audience. And the worst thing you can do is sell to a cold audience. Like, you're just wasting your time, right? So the first thing that you want to do, fairly simple, is just gain clarity on who your ideal prospects are, right? The sub niche, the niche that they're in, and the current situations that they're facing. The more you know, the better, right? Because now you can start to frame things differently and know what their pain points are even better, right? But all of us already know this, right? So now here's where it gets interesting, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to look for digital products that are in the exact niche / sub niche that comes with the community, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to actually join that community of hundreds, if not thousands, of your ideal prospects in pain, right? So you're going to be joining Facebook groups of people that are looking for your particular services, right? So now, just by doing this simple trick, right, you're now able to leverage that community by growing your friends list and turning it into your own audience. Meaning you're going to be leveraging thousands, if not millions of dollars in ad spend. Thousands of prospects that you would pay 60 to 250 bucks for. Right? And so here's how you do it, right? And one of the big things is creating assets, which is going to be known as your content, right? That you can use to educate and indoctrinate the community, right? Who you are, what you offer, what your background is. This is to build a connection with you, right? And you're turning that entire audience into your own warm leads, right? You're leveraging the audience. And so now from there, what you can do is you can create your own outbound prospecting plus VSLs, Loom. And like I just said before, is you're not going to educate the entire audience, position yourself as an expert, and convert the audience into your paid clients, right? So this is how I went from struggling to book 10 to 15 meetings a month to booking 10 calls every single hour with our new list, right? So you go from struggling to make 10K a month in 6 months to making 10K every week, right? And so here's a statistic done here too, right? This is the cold outreach metrics and inbound metrics, right? And you can just see from reaching out, right? And you look for, let's see, versus booked calls, right? They're putting in 10 times the effort. Look, they're sending 10 times the DMs, or really, if you look, it's quick maths, it's 5 times, right? They're putting in 10 times the effort to have almost similar booked calls. Do you see? Like, this is the difference between sending out cold outreach, and this is the difference between sending out warm outreach, right? So if you, for most of you guys that are sending around 1,000 DMs, right? I can send only 100. And because I'm able to frame myself differently, and because I'm able to create a community and people know who I am, they know what I offer, right? People know me. I'm able to then convert into way higher conversions than you will, right? So if I just sent 200 DMs, I would have more than you, or the same as you, right? If I send 200 DMs and you send 1,000, right? So this is just one. There are so many studies about this, right? But this is just one example of the difference between cold outreach versus warm outreach, right? Same with follow-ups, right? Huge difference. Now, not sure why that's there. So now, how do you do it, right? And there's tons of different ways to create content, right? And the idea behind creating the content is people won't buy from you unless they know that they have an issue, right? So the idea is you're going to make them problem aware, right? You're going to make them aware that they have a problem. Then from there, you're going to make them solution aware and implementation aware, right? And you are the solution. You are the implementation, right? So you make them aware like, hey, you guys have a problem. We're here to help, right? And you show them to their goal / desired outcome, right? So now there's tons of different ways to do this, right? The one method was a Facebook group or going into an already built community. But what I actually recommend is you guys building your own community, right? Having a warm audience, right? So for example, what I would recommend you guys doing is creating either Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter, Instagram content, right? And what you're going to funnel them to is a lead magnet, right? So whether that be, we help X with Y, this is how we help John with his MedSpa go from 20K per month to 70K per month in 3 months, right? And we're going to indoctrinate how. That's the VSL. So how do I simplify this? Essentially, when you do your outreach, right? everyone's outreach is the same. Everyone tries to get people into a booked meeting. But what if you scratch that completely? And the only reason why you DM people and why you get into contact with people is to funnel them into free resources. So what you're doing is you're funneling the cold audience into liking you, giving them free resources, things that will actually help them. Then from once you funnel them with the free resource into your community, right? So what happens is you're going to start your indoctrination and education campaign is a community to build either through a Facebook group or a school group, right? So you're going to funnel them into a group where in there you're going to educate who you are, what you do, how you help people. You're going to have different testimonials, screenshots, how you help people, how they can learn from your mistakes, how they can learn from your clients' mistakes, and the importance of a team. In other words, you're going to make them problem aware plus solution aware, and you're the solution, right? So this is just, it's taking them from a cold audience and funneling them into a warm, nurtured audience, right? And so now you're able to pitch very few people, and whilst sending out fewer DMs, you're going to be closing way higher, and you're going to be able to charge a lot more. All right, so from here, you'll either schedule the call automatically, or you'll have a sales rep come in, which you can hire, right? Which will chat with the warm prospects within the community. You get them to schedule the call with you. You hire an expert closer to close it for you. So if you're in the position where you don't need to call anybody, right? You can just hire professional talent to do it for you. Please do that, right? Please hire someone that does this for a living, right? And they come to you, right? The prospects in your community come to you. They're warm. They're ready to buy. And on top of that, you have a professional closer with a success rate of, our closer has a success rate of 95%. Isn't that wild? So our closer, what we do, for example, like how we structure everything at acquiresales.io is all of our clients that come to us, we'll actually put our own closers that have an insanely high closing rate, and we'll place it into your agencies for you, right? So with this model, you can charge 3x more, right? On top of that, you can close more clients than you did before, and it becomes easy and automatic. And that's when you're finally leveraging, right? So anyways, I hope this kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's all about, just to sum it up, is one of the most destructive things that you can possibly do is try pushing into a cold audience, right? The most important thing that you could possibly do ever is create a brand, right? Create your brand around your agency, and people will come and they will buy, right? You have to have a brand. You can't just be some random dude that always pops up in their DMs. And the last thing I did forget to mention is, if you guys want our acquisition process, we spent so much fucking time on it, and it's gotten me and Andres, or it's gotten Andres to $36,000 in contract value in just the first month. And it's the same thing, same acquisition process that I use to scale my agency to my first 50K per month. So if you guys want it, it's completely for free. It's in the description. You guys can just claim it. We'll send it to your email. And yeah, that should be about it for this video, and see you guys soon. Bye.